What is good, YouTube? Welcome to the channel. This is OddToxin coming right at you with some replays of the current game that I'm playing, the round one of Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy's Win-A-Box. And so, like I was saying, this is my round one duel. We're going to be going over the game. I think I did pretty well for this matchup. I'm not going to give you any spoilers or anything like that, but I'm going to let you know I'm going to do my round one and round three. Round two didn't get recorded for whatever reason. I'm having a lot of issues opening up that replay. So I'm just going to give you these two rounds. That way you guys can see what I'm playing against, and just, have some good times talking about the game. So here we go. Let's get right into that. All right. We're going to try to get through this as fast as possible. All right. So my opponent, he goes ahead and he sets the Waking the Dragon, summons the Breaker. We start our turn off by setting the Apprentice Magician, setting the Waking Dragon, and passing our own turn. He then uses his effect, pops our Waking, which was insane for us, by the way. So when I set the Waking, I was wondering if my opponent was going to see it as the bluff and not pop the Waking, or just go for it right away and destroy it. So we were right in doing that play there, with setting it and watching him pop the Waking. So we bring out Arcana Knight Joker, and so in this matchup, when you go against a mirror, the biggest reasons why I think Arcana is good is for the Book of Moons. Also, Arcana is really good because now they have to pretty much be forced to use their skill first. So because of this, they're going to more than likely be activating the skill, stealing our monster, and then we can use our skill whenever we get our tribute from the deck. Yep, paying the 2 here, stealing our monster, tributing it for the Jinzo, and then we get to stall with our Apprentice Magician. And so this is amazing here because Apprentice just goes into our other old man. Or, well, we're going to stall, so I think I thought he would attack right into it at this point, so it's whatever. Setting the other, or the old Vindictive. Setting the book. He allures here, drops the Sphere Karibo from hand, and then allures again, dropping the Breaker, which I also think is a really bad play here, but, I personally in this situation would have probably got rid of the Kaiku. So he goes for the Kaiku summon here. Again, I would have probably just Breakered here to force the activation of the book right away. Hitting our old Vindictive, popping the Jinzo with it. Taking our draw here, getting our Breaker. So we Breaker here, and so when we Breaker, more than likely we're going to be popping the Waking the Dragon that our opponent has. So we use it, obviously, hitting the Waking the Dragon. In hindsight, this is probably a bad idea. I knew this card wasn't doing anything. I should have honestly figured it was the Waking the Dragon, but you can never be too careful. So here it kind of bites me, but oh well. So we flip Apprentice here, Book of Moon. So this is a misplay, and I want to tell you why. I can't flip this Apprentice Magician while he's on the field. My battle positions can't be changed. So yeah, he lets me know about this, and I just go a different route. So I go book, flip the Thousand Eyes Restrict, then flip the monster face up. Alright, so we punch the Thousand Eyes with the Apprentice, and then we clash both the Breakers together here. So they draw the Zoma for turn, which is fine. Not a big deal. So we're going to be taking our effect here, using our effect, taking the damage, Sending out the deck a little bit. This was the big play here, or big play here. So I need to send out the deck, alright? With my deck, it's not playing as many tributes as the average, conflict tribute stun decks. So we play 25 cards, not enough tributes. But the biggest thing is that we deck thin more often. Yeah, By the way, I'm bad at math. I was counting on my fingers. So we take for the turn, draw the Jinzo, use our own conflict here. All right, which is really good for us because at this point we now shut down the game. Our opponent loses. Summons the Jinzo, battles for turn, goes into game 2. All right. So starting off, I actually really like this guy's deck. I'm not gonna lie. So he's playing the Kaikos, or Kaiku, however you pronounce that. And I think this card's really neat, and not a lot of people are using them. And I feel like we should all be like looking at this card more often, especially with the upcoming sets. This card's probably going to be a real big buff with getting cards out of the graveyard. But yeah, this is the current format though, and it's not doing anything to my deck. I just pass for turn, by the way. I don't even set the book. I don't want to give my opponent any reason to summon the breaker and pop it. It would be a waste of a book here. So at this point, it's just like I'm going to let him do what he does. More than likely just going to go with the set of the Zoma and summon of the Kaiku. I take the damage. No point in not doing it. And here's where I'm like, all right, I'm in a pickle. All I have are Karibos. All I have is the Tribute Monsters, Book of Moon, and yeah. So we're going to take the conflict here. This is a bad play in the current matchup, and the reason why is pretty simple. It's you don't want to be the first person to use this, but being where I'm at, this is what I have to do. So this shuts down the Zoma, but we get feared here, obviously. So, oh well, life will go on. That's the book. Has the Zoma face down. Probably going to punch over us with the Kaiku that he thinks. And he's wrong, we got a Karibo. Actually, we would book here, so, which is fine. If he summons the breaker, it's probably best to keep the spheres in hand anyway. Set our Waking the Dragon, flip Jinzo to attack. Then we're going to attack the Kaiku again. In this case, he's going to book us. Card advance, which is really neat. This guy was playing some really cool cards. He's going to pay his 2 here. At this point, we're just ditching both of our Karibos. And in all honesty, we're in a really bad situation here. After drawing the Zoma for turn, it's obvious that we lose here. So, what I like to do is I like to play out the bluffs, but in the end, it does not matter. So, in hindsight, after watching that game, when my opponent first attacked with the Kaiku at the very beginning, that's when I should have Sphere Karibo'd. I also should have probably set the Book of Moon face down at the beginning. What that would have done is I would have had an interruption to my opponent's attack. And then I feel like in the end we probably would have had an extra turn, been in a better situation all around. We wouldn't have been forced to use the Inner Conflict right at the beginning. When it comes to the Inner Conflict mirror, you really are in a grind match there. You have to be the second person to use Inner Conflict. If you're not, the likelihood of you winning the game is next to none. So we'll get back to this. Alright guys, made a little bit of a mistake last time when recording this video, so I'm going to go over it again with you all. So the biggest thing I want you guys to pay attention is Mind Crush here. In this matchup, I only sided in one card, and it was during our game stream play. After playing him this entire time, I noticed that the only tribute monster he was summoning against me was Jinzo. So if I could correctly call when my opponent has the Jinzo, that means I can discard the Jinzo from hand, potentially getting rid of the Inner Conflict play. So look at this. Opens up the Jinzo right away. I open up the Mind Crush. So he goes double allure here. Also, I don't know if getting rid of this Karibo is good or not. I feel like keeping that's probably the best option. But he sets double Zoma, passes turn. Alright, so what we do here is we set the Mind Crush. This is our big play of this match. Alright? He has the Jinzo in hand. So at this point I'm thinking, and the reason why I'm thinking is because I'm wondering if I should Mind Crush the Jinzo out of hand, because he didn't play this last turn. I know that he didn't play it, and so what's happening here is that this has to be the tribute summon, right? Because there was no reason why he didn't set it, no reason why he didn't play. So he summons the Zoma here. At this point now has double Jinzo. Tributes for the Jinzo, but did not play the card that I originally saw in hand. Alright? Didn't shuffle the hand or anything. So I know this card is probably the other tribute summon. I book a Moon here. I accidentally target the Breaker, but I want to hit the Jinzo. I draw for turn, I get the Zoma. I enter Conflict, I steal the Jinzo. Tribute, and I summon Kaiser Glider. Setting my face down card. Attacking his monster. My opponent now draws for turn. During their standby phase, I activate Mind Crush, calling Jinzo. Worst case scenario here, I'm wrong. He doesn't have the tribute summon in hand, meaning that I'm in a very good situation, and I just discard my Sphere Karibo. But I was correct in Jinzo. If I would have done it last turn when I previously wanted to, we would have gotten both Jinzo out of hand. That's why I think in the mirror match, when you're playing Air Conflict, you definitely should have Mind Crush. Especially against these newer decks that are only playing Jinzos or only playing Kaiser Gliders. Like, you should really be paying attention to, like, what tributes are being played. So, at this point, my man is trying to figure out, like, is he still in the game, you know? So, the answer to this is pretty obvious. So, his stack cards are Jinzo, Book of Moon, so he really needs this Jinzo. That should be his main priority to stack to the top of deck. I end phase, I go Zoma. I draw for turn. Tribute for my second Kaiser Glider. And then I attack. My opponent says Zoma the Spirit. I say Book of Moon. It sets it right back, and we have game on board. GG, fellas, we won. Alright, so going over this, like I said, big shout out to this Mind Crush here. You always want to be paying attention to your opponent, what they're doing, if they're shuffling their hand, if they're not shuffling their hand. Just like paying attention to their tributes whenever you're playing the inter-conflict matchup. You always want to be coherent of your opponent, coherent of what they're doing. That way you can be the better inter-conflict player on the field. All right, so that's it for the video today. Thank you guys for coming by and watching me play my round 1. Look forward to my round 3 match. Like I said at the beginning of the video, sadly I can't get my round 2 match to you guys, but if it means anything, I lost to Moss. So game 1, they go opening Moss with perfectly ultimate in hand. Game 2, they go opening with Parasite and Moss in hand, and it's like, all right, I guess I lose. They have the Santa Claus both times and the Night Beams. It's like I can't really do much against that. But yeah, so like I said, thanks again for coming by. Thanks again for being a part of the video. And I hope you have a good day. Stay awesome, bros.